My dad always told me that a leader is somebody who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. They are the guides to the darkness for your team and for your business. Now, I will say I am not very interested in being a leader myself. My entire life, I was always the ace in the hole. I worked under the radar. I was the shadow for the true leaders, the right-hand man type of guy. And that isn't much of a bad thing. But there were times where I had to take control and I needed to learn how to lead rather than just be the right hand my entire life. There are always going to be times where you have to take over for your team in any endeavor, and I am here to show you what you should portray when that time comes. Now, just a forewarning, there will be some adult-rated topics in this discussion regarding drugs and violence, and I do not condone any of these topics, just as much as I want you to think of the mental nature of these topics rather than the form. You will understand what I mean later in this talk. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, this is how this talk is going to pan out for us. First, I'm going to explain the 3 small goals you need to achieve for yourself in order to even begin to be a leader. After each goal, I'm going to give an example of a fictional character in different television series that correspond with those goals. Then I will sum everything up in one big recap at the end. Now keep in mind, these are the first 3 stepping stones to being a leader. There's much more you need to worry about afterwards, but these goals are the best start to becoming a leader that you can find. All right, now, the first goal of being a leader is self-reliance, which is defined as reliance on one's own powers and resources rather than those of others. Now, I am not saying do everything yourself, don't trust anybody. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is much more than that. If you want to lead and trust others, you need to be able to lead and trust yourself. I would like you guys to think of your brain as its own team. Your brain is composed of multiple different sections, and they are meant to work together as a team to keep your body functional. Your consciousness is the leader of that team, and in order to lead any team in any situation, you must be able to lead the team in your head. Now, a perfect example of this concept is Franklin Saint from the TV series Snowfall, set in Los Angeles in the 1980s when the cocaine epidemic was in its infancy. Now, there's a reason I'm using fictional characters in this presentation, by the way. Their emotions, their personalities, their traits, their actions, they're all exaggerated and emphasized, so you're really able to see these personalities, actions, emotions, and traits come to life and how they affect the ones around them. Now, Franklin, at 19 years old, starts a coke-dealing empire, from buying from dealers to resell to others to eventually making it himself and making millions. While that might sound screwed up, I want you to take away the fact that he is a drug kingpin and only focus on the leading aspect of the character and the mental aspect of his character. Franklin is a certified genius for his age, and he learned at a young age how to lead the team in his brain. He knows about the business. He has the intelligence to lead, and he has one goal in mind: freedom. Freedom from all of it. He states that he wants to do things when he wants and how he wants, rather than getting paid more in some office job and rot away. He leads his friends, his workers, and even his family to get rich, so nobody will have to worry about anything for the rest of their lives, and he will do absolutely anything to get there. He means business. A natural-born leader with the most self-reliance I have ever seen in anybody, real or not. All right. Now, the second goal is controlling your pride and your ego. Now, pride and ego get extremely bad reps because some people think of pride and ego as harmful to yourself inside and out. They think it is all completely negative. There's no positives when it comes to pride and ego, and you need to wipe it out completely. While part of that may be true, there are positives to having ego and having pride, such as self-confidence and self-awareness and self-accountability and creating high standards for yourself. And if you're able to refine your pride and refine your ego to give you the positives without any negatives, then you will become dangerous in the business world. Now, a good example for this is Vegeta, one of the most prominent figures in anime. And yes, I watch anime. It is not for nerds. It is not for kids. I promise you, you can learn a lot from this stuff. Vegeta has been consumed by pride and ego to the point where he will always not be strong enough in the mind to achieve what he wants to achieve most in life. To be stronger than his, quote-unquote, best friend, Goku. He realizes that he has to train himself to control his head in order to become stronger. And once he does, he becomes one of the most feared individuals in the entire universe. He lets go of the past. He has short-term memory when it comes to failure, and now his pride and ego keeps him from giving up. He holds himself to high standards, pushes back from any negativity, and has achieved self-awareness, which is the ability to understand yourself as an individual, including your personality, actions, values, and your beliefs. The third, final, and probably the most important goal is to always give your respect where it is due. Giving respect to your peers, the people around you, the people over and under you, it just might be the most important aspect to becoming a leader. You need to show that empathy and respect to the ones below you because you are the one that helps them get to where they want to get to. Even on a business standpoint, having respect for others where it is due gets you good deals, gets you returns and respect that you deserve, and it builds trust among anybody in the workplace, whether they're over, under, or beside you, or against you. However, if they don't give you respect back, and they prove time and time again that they don't respect you and your authority, then they don't deserve to do business with you. They don't deserve your respect. Now, I'm Italian, right? And to Italians, respect is the most important thing to human contact. To Italians, of course. There will never be any example better to use than somebody in the Italian mob. Mob boss Sonny Laspicchio from the movie A Bronx Tale. He was a mob boss in the movie in the Bronx, New York in the 1960s. He states that he gives the guys who work for him just enough where they still need him, but they don't hate him. The deeper meaning to this is that he pays them enough so they don't leave him for having enough money to leave or for not getting enough money where they look elsewhere. He shows empathy to his people by giving them what they want, but having enough respect for himself and them to not give them too much where they get entitled. His men respect him, they feel safe around him because they know he's close to them. And if they mess up, he always keeps them in check. That's another form of respect, by the way. Holding your people accountable. He has these traits down to a T, and that's what I love about his character. Okay. Anybody can tell people what to do and how to deal with problems in the workplace. Being a leader takes a huge multitude of components, but I believe in my life experience and values that these three goals are the most important things to be able to become a leader. Self-reliance, in my mind, the idea of trusting yourself and your mind so that you can trust your team. You can never have the latter if you don't have yourself. Pride control, being able to train your mind to give yourself the positives of pride and ego without being consumed by the negatives. Respect, giving others the respect and empathy they deserve, whether it is a lot, a little, or none at all. And choosing who deserves what type of respect. Again, being a leader is knowing the way, going the way, and showing the way so you can be the guide in the darkness to your teammates in any human endeavor.